What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to Talkin Mets and Rob. How is everybody doing? With some interesting news coming out of the New York Mets and, of course, the reporter Will Salmon in regards to Teoscar Hernandez and, of course, the sought-after free agent Anthony Santander. So make sure you hit on that like button, guys, and subscribe to the channel. Anthony Santander is an interesting option from the New York Mets, but nobody thought that they would be in on Anthony Santander, especially after they signed Juan Soto to that record-breaking contract. So why is it talked about now that the New York Mets potentially and most likely are in with Anthony Santander? The reason being is because we found out a few days ago, prior to Teoscar Hernandez signing with the Los Angeles Dodgers, that the New York Mets have offered Teoscar Hernandez a 2-year deal. And you do wonder, why would they go after Teoscar Hernandez when they have a left fielder? They have a platoon in center field, and obviously Juan Soto. Would Teoscar Hernandez be the DH every day? Would he play outfield as a platoon each and every day, giving guys days off on their feet, or be a defensive capability than others that are on the field? Many questions are yet to be answered, but we do know one thing: the New York Mets were very interested in Teoscar Hernandez, offering him a 2-year deal. So that leads me to Anthony Santander. Why are the Mets or would be potential suitors for Anthony Santander? Well, it just makes sense at this point. Pete Alonso was still not signed with the New York Mets. He declined another offer of 3 years, $90 million with opt-outs after every year. Anthony Santander can play the corner outfield, mostly a right fielder, but has played a little bit of first base in his career, and the Mets love versatility. David Stearns loves versatility. He talked about that the other day when they asked about Brett Baty. He says he became very much aware of Brett Baty that he has to play other positions, and he started to learn other positions, i.e. second base. And he talked about the versatility factor that Stearns loves. Anthony Santander provides that versatility that Pete Alonso does not. And I know that might rub a lot of Mets fans the wrong way, but if Pete Alonso continues to decline offers from the New York Mets, the New York Mets aren't going to overpay for Pete Alonso. That has been established. And until the Mets sign Pete Alonso to what they believe he's worth, then they have to look at other options. And Anthony Santander is definitely another option. And Anthony Santander had a career year in a contract year, unlike Pete Alonso. So why would the Mets be involved in Anthony Santander? 2 reasons. Number one, he can play first base. Number two, he can provide a good amount of power where you can still go after a guy like Alex Bregman. So it gives you other options other than just signing Pete Alonso. And Anthony Santander is a good right fielder, good corner outfielder, can play some first base, decent first baseman. I'm not going to say above average because that's not fair, but he can play the position. I'd rather have Anthony Santander play first base if need be than moving Vientos from third base to first base if you sign an Alex Bregman, even though I think the Mets don't care who plays third base, and I don't think they care who plays first base. As long as they provide the offense that they need in the lineup, if they got to move Vientos to the DH spot or put Anthony Santander at first base, they will do that because you're still providing the offense that you would need with the average pitching staff that the New York Mets currently have. And if they do get more on the pitching staff, great, in the rotation, but they are looking to score runs. And this lineup at the current moment with Soto looks really nice. Even if you do only add Alonso, it provides a lot of offense. But if you can get an Anthony Santander and a Bregman, which I still believe they're still looking at 2 bats, because obviously if they did sign Teoscar Hernandez, they were still going after Pete Alonso. They might have still been going after Alex Bregman. So they're looking for 2 bats to add to this lineup, along with Juan Soto, Brandon Nimmo, Vientos, Lindor, Alvarez. So they're clearly looking for 2 bats. How they get to those 2 bats is yet to be determined. But Anthony Santander is now an option for the New York Mets because of the fact that they offered Teoscar Hernandez a contract who was a couple of years older than Anthony Santander. Now, Anthony Santander will probably warrant a 4 or 5 year deal, but it's still within the range where the Mets feel comfortable. Obviously, they would give Pete Alonso a 3 4-year deal. I think they would stretch it to 4 years. So that's exactly where Anthony Santander is. And Anthony Santander might actually get similar AAV compared to Pete Alonso because of the age. It's similar age than Pete Alonso. But again, the versatility is a factor when you're talking about David Stearns and the New York Mets. Look at everybody the New York Mets have currently on their roster. Now, Juan Soto is a special case. We all know that. That wasn't a David Stearns, work. That was all Steve Cohen. We all know that. But if you look at everybody else, Siri, Tyrone Taylor can play all 3 outfield positions. That's versatile. We know Nimmo can play center field and he plays left field. Vientos can play third and first. Lindor is the everyday shortstop, but you can move him because he is versatile. He's an athlete. You can always move Lindor to second base, even though that would never happen. Lindor is still athletic enough to move to second base. Same thing when it comes to Jeff McNeil. He can play both corner outfield positions, can play second base, and even a little bit of third base if need be. Alonso is a first baseman and obviously a DH, which he doesn't like to be a DH. So he's basically a first baseman. So the Mets aren't versatile in that aspect. I know that annoys a lot of Met fans, but it's a fact. Anthony Santander provides that versatility where maybe once a week Vientos goes to first base, Anthony Santander gives a day off to Brandon Nimmo, Soto goes to left field, or Anthony Santander goes to left field. That provides flexibility within the lineup, not only to make the lineup continue to be an offensive juggernaut, but it also protects the players from getting hurt, specifically Brandon Nimmo, specifically Francisco Lindor. If you need to give him a day off, you can DH him, put a shortstop in there, or somebody like an Acuna or an Iglesias at shortstop for one game. There's versatility factors that you can use in the outfield that can be beneficial for this Mets team. It seemed like a lot of the guys broke down last year, and it kind of caused us at the end of the playoffs to kind of not play to our potential. Anthony Santander provides that versatility, and he's probably going to cost you similar in years and money to Pete Alonso, that is only a first baseman. And a lot of people are going to say, well, Pete Alonso will give you 40-plus home runs. Sure, absolutely. But if you can add Anthony Santander and a Bregman, you can get 50 to 55, maybe even 60 home runs between them, and it stretches out your lineup, providing the offense that Alonso will just give you for one guy in the lineup. You can get 25 to 30 home runs from Bregman and Anthony Santander, and that gives you around 55 to 60 home runs, and not including better clutch numbers, better averages, right? Less strikeouts. That is the idea, what David Stearns is looking for. He's looking for run protection. He's looking for a team that prevents runs. And Anthony Santander in the outfield or at first base and Bregman at third base provides better defense, which is run prevention, which David Stearns talked about since the day he took over as president of baseball operations. So Anthony Santander, a New York Met, be on the lookout, Mets fans, because I do believe Anthony Santander is on the Mets radar. And if they can get him for similar numbers, AAV-wise, of Teoscar Hernandez, maybe $1 million or $2 million more, they probably are willing to go 4 or 5 years around the $120 to $130 million, which is around $24 to $26 million per year. The Mets are clearly after 2 bats. That is obvious now when you heard a lot of the rumors with Bregman, and also now you heard the offer to Teoscar Hernandez of the 2 years. They're clearly looking for some versatile outfielders that can also play a little bit of infield as well, which Anthony Santander can do. So Met fans, look out for that. And I want to let you guys know one thing. I'd be shocked if the New York Mets doesn't have a combination of Santander Bregman, Alonso Bregman, or Alonso and maybe somebody else. I think it can still be a possibility that Anthony Santander and Alonso are possibilities, but I do believe they're still looking for 2 bats, and that is obvious now with the Teoscar Hernandez situation where they offered him a contract, and now with the Pete Alonso situation, it gives more options to the New York Mets because they use a combination of 2 guys in the lineup. Whichever one whatever possibility combinations there are, can be a part of this lineup. Once again, guys, let me know in the comments, guys, what you think about signing Anthony Santander. Do you think it's a smart move? Do you think it's an option B if the Mets don't sign Pete Alonso, or the Mets are just going to go what they can do with an Anthony Santander or Bregman and let Pete Alonso wait out there. Worst case scenario, he comes running back for the contract the Mets want to give him, and maybe we have one of the better lineups in baseball. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you think about Anthony Santander becoming a New York Met. Once again, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching, and as always, Met fans, let's go Mets. Rise and high, falling low, repeat again. Cycles of the game.